Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast. I recently uploaded a video of 15 Japanese films from the 2000s that you should watch. Well, here are 15 more for you, so let's do it. Vital, 2004, it's a romance. This impressive dark love story follows a young man, played by Tadanobu Asano, whose girlfriend was killed in the same car accident that caused his loss of memory. He soon enrolls in medical school and signs up for a dissection class to study the human body. Outside of class, he begins to see his dead girlfriend in his dreams, but he is confused as to whether they are dreams, memories, or supernatural visitations. There are lots of interesting themes at work here, and the filmmaker plays with all of them, while at the same time mirroring the beauty of biology of all things. So there are not many films like this in existence. Stuff like this just isn't made. Showcasing some intriguing dream sequences, the best of which is perhaps the sand dance, this film provides a unique perspective on not only romance, but also the subconscious. Lighting, cinematography, set locations are all excellent in this film by Shinya Tsukamoto. Noroi, also known as The Curse, 2005, this is a horror film. This is a documentary-style, found-footage horror film that follows a reporter who investigates a series of strange events and deaths that seem to be connected to one another. The mythos that is explored is very interesting, and the elements concerning witchcraft are especially cool. Director Koji Shiraishi has crafted some terrifying scenes that give even some of the best horror films a run for their money. Weird static interference, mysterious entities in the background, bizarre demonic possession supplemented with suicides, and an effective finale make this one worth watching. It's a pretty fantastic creep fest that I still have trouble watching at nighttime. Kamikaze Girls, also known as Shimotsuma Monogatari, 2004, it's a comedy. This quirky tale of two girls, a frilly dressed high school student and her moped-riding gang member friend, strongly advocates independent thought, meaningful friendship, life-work balance, and takes its fair share of cracks at commercialism, yet maintains a lighthearted and humorous tone from start to finish. The vibrant colors, jaw-dropping outfits, great cinematography, and the beautiful and interesting female leads make this film, directed by Tetsuya Nakashima, a load of fun. Electric Dragon, 80,000 Volts, 2001, a cyberpunk comedy action flick. Tadanobu Asano is an electrically charged detective whose inner dragon goes wild when a villainous electrician named Thunderbolt Buddha crosses him. So this crazy film, directed by Sogo Ishii, looks great with its black and white visuals, and the soundtrack is just nuts. It's also the most lighthearted Japanese cyberpunk film you'll likely ever find. The pacing is strong, since it's only about 55 minutes long. You know Asano ain't messing around when he calls his guitar and just grinds away on that frickin' whammy bar. This is a good one. Tokyo Sonata, 2008, a drama. After losing his job, a man conceals his unemployment from his wife and children, who each have their own secrets to hide. Director Kiyoshi Kurosawa provides assured direction that as he explores a number of themes that are central to Japan but are also recognizable on an international level. The dysfunctional relationships within the family seem to be a product of a major breakdown in communication, as well as certain pressures and expectations by Japanese society. A desire for escapism is referenced throughout, and the character motivations are understandable. Even the father is generally likable, despite being a hot-headed jerk at times. Performances are very good, and as an added bonus, you get a pretty hilarious cameo appearance. Summertime Machine Blues, 2005, a comedy. A sci-fi club at a school find a time machine and use it to travel back 24 hours in a desperate attempt to steal their air conditioning remote control before they accidentally broke it. Yes, that is the actual plot of the film. But it is a very intelligent time travel comedy that pokes fun at time travel movies. The viewer really needs to pay attention to the subtle details that are shown in the first 30 minutes in order to recognize the references to those oddities later on. It's not frustratingly complex or anything, but it is instead joyfully clever and funny. This there really isn't a lead protagonist in this film because it revolves around a group of 7 characters, but the always lovable Juri Ueno is present. Fans of time travel movies really do need to watch this one. It's a real gem, directed by Katsuyuki Motohiro. Eureka, 2000, a drama. After surviving a violent bus hijacking, a man, Koji Yakuso, a girl, Aoi Miyazaki, and her brother try to straighten out their lives and heal the emotional wounds. This film has very slow pacing with long takes and minimal editing, but it immediately engages the viewer with a suspenseful opening and strong inner conflicts. The 3.5-hour runtime is not nearly as intimidating as it sounds, and once the viewer hits the dramatic setup point, about an hour in, there's a lot of entertainment value to be had with an effective blend of silent moments and meaningful dialogue. Yakusho and Miyazaki give outstanding performances, and the unique sepia-toned cinematography is quite beautiful. Directed by Shinji Aoyama. Nana, 2005, a drama romance. This film is about the friendship between 2 girls as they try to overcome the obstacles related to success and romance. Everything is of a high quality here. Script, acting, soundtrack, etc. And they combine to create very strong, realistic relationships between all of the characters. This sets up some very touching dramatic scenes that appear during the later half. When all is said and done, this movie turns out to be one of the quintessential Japanese youth friendship stories. Aoi Miyazaki has a co-lead role. Very good directorial effort by Kentaro Otani. Antenna, 2004, a dramatic horror film. A traumatic childhood involving the disappearance of his little sister transforms a man into a sexually repressed masochist. The most striking aspect of this film is its relentless exhibition of deep psychological torment. This film goes to some pretty dark places, and the lead character is one of the most suffocated, severely disturbed individuals to ever grace the Japanese screen. He expresses his anguish by avoiding healthy relationships, engaging in acts of self-mutilation, and meeting a dominatrix. And all of these elements are showcased in their full, liberated forms. But the film never feels gratuitous or exploitative because the characters and themes are expertly developed from start to finish. The sessions with the dominatrix, who is both attractive and intelligent, are used as an extreme form of psychiatry, and one extended sequence during the later half represents some of the most amazing exhibitions of gut-wrenching psychological torment you'll see. So this film is worth seeking out for even that scene alone. It's directed by Kazuyoshi Kumakiri and is really good. Departures, 2008, a drama. After the dissolution of an orchestra, a cello player moves back to his hometown and reluctantly begins a career preparing the dead for funerals. Highly acclaimed dramas can get pretty dry at times, but this is a lively film with an interesting premise and some great acting. There's a lot of time spent on the details surrounding the preparation of the dead, like the clothing, makeup, washing, etc., as well as a handful of conflicts that emerge. The mood is light for the most part, but the script is masterful at naturally extracting emotion from the viewer near the end. A superior character-driven film by Yojiro Takita that won Best Foreign Language Film at the Oscars. Strange Circus, 2005, a horror film. A sadistic school principal sexually abuses his wife and daughter on a nightly basis. His family's story of incest and violence inspires a wheelchair-bound writer who sets out to write an edgy, erotic novel. This is one sick, weird, and perverted film, but it's also very interesting and well-written. Directed by Shion Sono, the primary focus here is on sexual psychological perversion as a consequence of abuse. And this film implements some really cool imagery and symbolism. There are also plenty of twists and psychological elements to keep the viewer glued to their screen. Lots of dense content to chew on with this one. It's also one of the few Japanese films that actually provides a detailed explanation near the end. The viewer beware that there is a lot of explicit sex and a few gory moments to be had, but there are a few uncomfortable situations here. But they are essential to develop the underlying themes. Acting is also very good all around. University of Laughs, 2004, a comedy drama. A playwright submits his story to the censorship board, but the nude censor, played by Koji Yakusho, disapproves of the content and demands a multitude of revisions. This has a number of similarities to the film Welcome Back, Mr. McDonald. The theme of censorship, time restrictions placed on the protagonist, the one-room setting, use of humor, character bonding, etc. A lot of similarities here. And almost the entire film takes place in the censorship board's conference room, where the characters discuss the many necessary revisions. The dialogue is rapid and interesting, which makes this worthy viewing. Directed by Mamoto Hoshi. Shinku, also known as The Deep Red, 2005, a dramatic thriller. The teenage daughter of a convicted murderer befriends the only surviving teenage daughter of the murdered family in this coming-of-age story. Our protagonist does not disclose her identity to her. So the persecution inflicted upon the child of the criminal is coupled with the psychological suffering associated with having one's parents and siblings brutally killed. Very interesting stuff here. Consequently, there's an odd attraction and friction between these leads that forms the entire foundation of the story. The overall quality of the film, very impressive. Well-written script, really good performance. It does have a slow-burning pace that helps to fully develop the characters and the complex motivations behind the murder itself. Very interesting and unorthodox film by Takashi Tsukunoki. Linda, 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 2005, a drama comedy. A group of schoolgirls have formed a band to perform at their high school cultural festival in 3 days' time, but the guitarist and singer have quit. The remaining members decide to perform covers of blues heart songs, including Linda, Linda, but need a new singer. So they ask the first girl who walks by, who happens to be a Korean exchange student, played by Duna Bae of all people, who is of course not fluent in Japanese. And this film is deliberately paced, but it hits its stride nicely during the second half with a series of memorable moments. The highlight is most definitely the finale, but the hilarious love confession in the equipment room is a close second in my books. This is a delightful film by Nobuhiro Yamashita. Hana and Alice, 2004, a drama comedy. A girl tricks a guy into believing he has amnesia in order to continue their fake relationship, I guess you could say, while her friend attempts a career in modeling. The story is kind of basic, but it's pretty interesting, using numerous bits of intelligent humor. Yu Aoi gives a standout performance, and it's one of the best of her career, in my opinion. Character development is strong and authentic in this film by director Shunji Iwai. Technical aspects are very well done. Some eye-catching settings and cinematography. If you want to take a trip to Japan and not actually have to go there, this is a good film to check out. The ballet dance sequence is a nice highlight as well. Hanging Garden, 2005, a drama. This odd film is about a dysfunctional family with a strict rule. Keep no secrets from each other. Be ashamed of nothing. The broken relationships between the family members, the mother, father, son, daughter, and grandmother, are explored in depth, as is each protagonist's psyche. The performances by the cast members are top-notch, scoring is quite good. Camera work is a bit unorthodox as well. This is a bit on the perverted side, but there's no actual sex scenes that are shown. A very different kind of film with a sprinkling of humor. Toshiaki Toyoda is an underappreciated director that needs more attention. So there you have it, 15 more Japanese films from the 2000s that you should watch. Titles for the films in this video are listed in the description box below. If you're interested in seeking any of these films out, Google them, see if you could find them. The 2000s, again, very, very good decade for Japanese film. I probably could give you another 30 recommendations from this decade. I enjoy so many of them, but it's time to move on in this playlist. So in the next video, we're going to crack into the 2010s. So stay tuned for that. And as always, I'll see you next time.